Alright, guys. So, I kind of slacked off a little bit since the last time you saw the car. Um, and it's come a long way since then. It got repainted. It's uh, it's now a Audi Merlin purple, which I have to redo a lot of it because the temperature dropped in my shop and fucking orange peeled the whole car. So that's cool. Um, but this is also done. Motor's in, trans is in. I'm gonna have to pull it back out when I switch from the cable clutch fork to the hydraulic. I have a new throwout bearing on its way, actually. Um, the other big thing is 5-lug swap, so that's done too. So moving inside, so this is some of the factory 240 harness and then all of the Mustang harness. I had to move the shifter forward probably about 8 inches or so. This is a eBay short shifter because for now that's fine. Mustang cluster, which I'm going to be running. Obviously for seat, I'm doing a Kirky full containment passenger seat yet. I haven't decided. 5-lug all the way around. I have new rear brake calipers coming in because these ones I don't think are 100% good for cooling. I'm not going to be running this, so if you're looking at that like, what the fuck, that's not going to be in there. Mishimoto is actually sending me a pretty beefy boy for that. I'm going to be running my eBay coilovers for a while till I kind of get the gist of actually getting the car sideways, and then I'll move up to a better coilover for that. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this wiper blade and do the single wiper blade conversion. JLT intake. I have comp cams for it too, right here. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, here it is. I'll throw some pictures in of everything I've done along the way to try and get a better understanding of everything I've done, and hopefully you get the gist of it. But it's definitely come a long way. In the meantime, I'm also building my wife's WRX, so that's fun too. But it's all another day. So as you can see, this has come a really long way. That was when I first got the car. This was a little bit after, step by step after I put the seat in. I lowered it. I first got the 4.6 for it, and then some nice photography I did of the car. Me and a buddy pulling the motor, washing the bay, getting it ready for the day it went to RZG Motorsports, which are the people that did my motor mounts. This is the wiring harness. That's the first test fit. There's where I brought it home and put the motor in myself for the first time. That's what's left of the 240 harness. This is the cut dash. That's after I cut the hood. That's the paint that I went with. And yeah, so back to the video. And for those of you that are asking about pricing on the motor and trans and everything, I'm going to do a little segment on that too later on in the video. Just kind of going over pricing of everything, paint, literally how much I have into the build right now. I'll write everything down and go over all that. So some of you are probably going to look at that and be like, what the fuck? That's only temporary. Don't worry about that. That's just to get the motor running. I have somebody coming out that's going to tune the ECU because right now Ford's PAT system is fucking me really hard and it's not fun. So I have a guy coming out and he's going to tune that out. Tune for my cams right away because as soon as I pull the motor again for the throwout bearing, I'm going to pull those cams out and throw my comp cams in. I also Tessa taped the entire wiring harness. I picked up some Tessa tape for pretty cheap. So, but otherwise everything's plugged in, including the alternator, which is tucked underneath my throttle body. I had to take the entire intake off, throttle body, fucking injectors, everything to get to that. So, like the dumbass I am, I literally the day after I paint it, I had put tape here, and when I peeled it off, it pretty much took a lot of this with it. So I'm gonna blend here. Same with the top of the door. I did it here too. So I'm gonna go around and I'm just gonna repaint the whole car pretty much. This is gonna be under the fender, so I'm not too worried about it. Headlights are actually coming off because I have a cool surprise coming. That's gonna be not these headlights, not this whole front end actually. So that's the big thing too. So this is a Avenue wheel. They're pretty decent wheels. It's 320 millimeter, and so that's half of the NRG hub. I'm going with the short adapter, like the race hub, because with the seat all the way forward, which is where my driving position is, there's not too much room between the wheel and the driver. So I need as little uh, hub as possible. And I found out about that through a buddy of mine who actually has it, and it's actually pretty cool. I'll put pictures of that too. All right, so I have everything written down, and I'll go through the price of everything, break down a lot of it. Um, so we'll start off with obviously the car. The car itself I got for $3,200, a little bit of drift tax, but it was pretty much a one owner. Shop bought it, and one of the employees drove it around for about a month and decided that he didn't want it, so the shop turned around and sold it. The owner was an elderly male who was the original owner, and unfortunately, his kids made him sell it. Fortunate, I guess I got it. So that was 3,200. Seat was the next thing I bought. That was a whopping $1,279. That was It was a lot to bite off, but I know it's a good seat. It's full containment, uh, quirky, and yeah, I didn't want to go with the typical seat because it's not the typical car. Next is coils. They're eBay coils. They're $254. I don't care what you say. It's all I needed. So motor and wiring harness. I ended up paying $1,600 for motor, and wiring harness. That includes all the ECUs, PCMs, all the computers needed, plus the cluster. If you look online, the cluster alone's worth damn near $400. After that, I bought the trans. It's a T45 out of a 97 Cobra R. Paid $300. The throwout bearing to switch it to a hydraulic throwout bearing is $314. A little expensive, but it's the only company that makes it, so they kind of dominate the market. Next is the 5-lug swap. That was $310. Again, off the eBay. There's cheaper kits, but weren't very good reviews. Next was brake discs. So for all four, they're S15, so 5-lug. Brake rotors, same size as the S13. They were $190. I don't really know if I should really throw this in there, but the 4-lug wheels that were on it, the Rota Kenzies, they were $800 for wheels and tires. I got them used. I had them on his Mini Cooper for, like, I guess a couple weeks, and then didn't like them, so he sold them. The NRG short hub is $80. I threw the picture in for you guys. The short shifter I paid $45 for. Like I said in my video, it's a cheap short shifter, and I don't really care. Tessa tape, which I got a lot of. I ended up paying $110 for all of it, but I have enough to do my entire wiring harness after it's fully stripped of everything I don't need. The rear calipers I ordered, they're $180 for both of them, unbracketed. And then the Hydra e-brake is Chase Bays, $190 for the whole kit. Sheet metal, because I had to cut my firewall, is there's a gaping hole in there still, but I have all the sheet metal to block that in. That's what I do for a living, so I'm not too worried about it. I also needed to seal up the hole where my original shift location was. That was $350 for all the sheet metal I needed. It's fucking 56 gauge or 52 gauge, I forget what it is. Or 52 thou. No. The clutch that's going in it is $470. The cams that I showed in the video are $960. The tune that is going on it is $400 for him to come out and do it here. The steering wheel and actual hub that you actually click is, well, it's an expensive wheel, but I bartered. A good buddy of mine has 20, 30-ish 240s, and he has more parts than he knows what to do with, and he wanted more. So my interior is actually going to him, and in return, he's giving me that steering wheel. So in total, that alone came out to $11,032. So I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's worth it. Because I'll have the only one like it when it's done. Costs that are coming up really soon. Like I mentioned, for wheel choice, I'm going with a set of Voltec Inter Milanos. Getting off of my buddy, not sure specs, but I know they are 18 inch wheels. They're a genuine 3-piece setup. They're 90s JDM. They're beautiful wheels. I'll throw a picture in after this. The next thing is the front end conversion. Not gonna say what it is, but I promise you it's gonna be fucking awesome. After that is the cage. So obviously I'm gonna cage it. I'm not gonna do all this work just to not cage it. So for a full cage from the same company that built my motor mounts, looking at $1,000. For the exhaust, I don't know what I'm gonna run yet. Probably gonna have to be custom. Don't really know a price on that, but so after all those costs, it would be $16,432. So 16 grand into it in a couple months, and a lot of time. I also forgot to add paint in there. That was $600 and some dollars. So that brings it up to over 7,000 or 17,000. So it's getting pretty high there, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. Until then, stay posted for the next update. I'll try and get this one out a lot faster.